Hey, Remote Pilot 101, Jason here. So excited to be with you all this evening, working and finding ways to better ourselves as a remote pilot. That's what we're truly after this evening. That is what we're working towards. We're streaming simultaneously to you right now on YouTube and on Facebook. Let's give a few quick shout outs before we get into kind of the content and everything else. Hey to everybody on YouTube. Hey to Steven, Lewis, username Flying with Stan, Jay, Frank, Randall, JLW, Russell, Woody, Mark, Oscar, nice to see you. Over on Facebook, I saw Paul say he's watching this on the train right now. Hey Doug, David, Lisa, Derek, nice to see you all over there on Facebook as well. If you want to say hi, now's a great time to do it. Here's what we're going to share. Here's what we're going to learn a little bit more about tonight. Tonight, I'm going to share with you an actual Part 107 recurrent test questions and answers. Now, maybe you're still working to take that initial test. You're going to see a little bit of overlap here. That's what we're really going to work towards with that here. Real quick, a little bit about myself and remotepilot101.com, and then we'll get into it. Most of you are customers. By the way, how many customers? If you are a Remote Pilot 101 customer, just type in me in the chat so I can give you a little bit of a shout out there as well. Most of you know about myself, 10,000 hours of flight instruction in manned aircraft. AOPA, that's the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. I was their top collegiate flight instructor in 2008, an outstanding instructor in 14 and 15, and we help just thousands of pilots each year. Look at all the me's coming in on YouTube. Thank you, Randall, Paul, Walt, Richard, thank you, Mike, Gary, Winslow, fantastic, thank you. Let me look over at Facebook. Hey, Steve, Brian, thank you, Jason, great name. Hey, Mark, thank you. Let's see, so much to scroll through here. Todd, Karen, Lisa, Alma, Berkeley, Michael, thank you so much. I've got both chats happening on a TV right in front of me simultaneously. Here's a little bit about Remote Pilot 101. You all know this as well, though. We're up to 18,000 past tests. So the reason you see so many me's on YouTube and on Facebook is because we help so many people. Remote Pilot 101 truly is the market leader when it comes to Part 107 test prep here. So to my knowledge, we are the only course on the market right now offering a complete initial and a complete recurrent specific course. A lot of I don't ever speak poorly of competition. I love competition, but none of our competition right now has a recurrent specific course. They're all just telling you, hey, go through our initial course again. And there, as you're going to see on these questions, there are some very specific recurrent test type questions. And despite what you think, I know we looked at the ACS Airman Certification Standards. They talk about there not being a lot of weather or covering a lot of weather. Well, they're right, but what they mean is they're not covering a lot of textual weather. We're still being quizzed on some weather elements as well as what we're learning. So we want to really focus on that here. We work, by the way, maybe some of you fall in this camp. We work with some of the biggest names in the industry as well. Very, very blessed to call many of these great companies clients of ours. NCIS, UPS, FDNY, NYPD, Neenah Police Department, a lot of great organizations out there that we have the pleasure of working with. Very, very blessed to be able to share that, and very, very blessed to be able to share this because of amazing clientele like yourself. Remote Pilot 101, and really our parent company, M0A.com, has made the Inc. 500 list, well, the Inc. 5000 list technically, 2 years in a row. Last year, we were number 230, the 230th fastest growing private company in America. This year, just missed that 500 cutoff and fell on the 5000 list at number 578, the fastest growing company at number 578 for 2018. Very, very blessed, very, very humbled to be able to share that with you all. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get into the content. Here's a little bit about how this works. I'm going to ask you actual FAA Part 107 recurrent test questions. You're going to work to provide your best answer. You can just give me a letter, right? Because it's A, B, or C. I have my YouTube chat open so I can see Aldo, Glenn, Pete, John, Aaron, Sterling. I have Facebook open over here. I have to remember to scroll down here. I can see Mark, Manny, Alguardo, Bobby, Probin, Josh. Probin, nice to see you as well. Good to see you guys. So I can see all of those chats as well over there. So that's where you're going to provide your best answers. And then, of course, we're going to reveal the correct answer and share with you why. Or how is the FAA working to trip you up by asking the question this way? A few of you have been asking too, how does the actual recurrent test, how is it structured? Well, it's a little bit lighter, let's say. It's 40 questions, and it's still multiple choice ABC. It is still a proctored exam. A proctored exam, for those of you who haven't taken an FAA knowledge test, think back to when you took your SATs. It was a proctored exam. Someone watched you take it. Most of our FAA exams, they watch you on a camera, but you're in a room. They'll give you your pencil. I've heard of some testing centers. You have to go through a metal detector, or they make you physically show that your pockets are empty. They're very, very particular about this. There's a lot of things you cannot bring with you. Your cell phone is one of them. So it's a proctored exam with that. So no phones, no electronics, and a 70% to pass, as we all know from the initial test. Anyways, let's dive into it. Let's start asking some of those questions. I'll be watching those. Some of the great team here at Remote Pilot 101's watching those as well. I have some of the great team here in studio with me. Matt and Russ are over there as well. John's working all the fancy equipment there. And some of the great team, you'll see Sarah, you'll see Celeste, you'll see Ethan, you'll see Hunter, you'll see quite a few others in the different chats as well, watching all of that. So anyways, let's dive into it. Let's start with question number 1. Refer to figure 23. What does the magenta C mean next to the 122.8 frequency at the Claxton-Evans County Airport in Area 2? Again, we're looking over here. I broke down the entire chart just so you could see this. I'm not going to point out exactly what they're talking about. It is your job to find that here. But there is a magenta C, and it's next to the 122.8 frequency. What does that mean? Does it mean it's A, Class C airspace, B, the common traffic advisory frequency, or C, the common weather frequency? Let's look through some of these here. Great answers on YouTube from Gary, from Dave, from Whetstone Video, from Al, David, Drone Reel Studios is the username, BJ, Danny, Steve, John, great answers over here. Heading over now to Facebook. Let's see, Neil, Mike, JR, Scott. There's no tricking you guys. Jim, excellent answers here. You all are correct. We started with a nice easy one, and you are correct in B. Our common traffic advisory frequency. Allow me to show you why, and allow me to show with you what we're talking about and what we're seeing. Come to my computer screen real quick here. Okay, my cursor is in the middle of your screen. We're coming over to the Claxton-Evans County Airport here. What they're talking about is this magenta C right here, next to the frequency 122.8. That C right there means exactly what we learned down here, our common traffic advisory frequency. Manned pilots flying into the Claxton-Evans County Airport broadcast their intentions, where they're at, where they're landing on the common traffic advisory frequency of 122.8. Let's take a look at our next question, another easy one. Let's start with some easy ones. We'll get to the more complex. What kind of airspace is the Savannah Airport? What kind of airspace is the Savannah Airport? By the way, anybody who's taken the recurrent test will tell you it is heavy airspace, heavy sectional charts. So that's why we kicked off with these two to start. Fairly easy ones. What kind of airspace is the Savannah Airport? Is it A, Class C, B, Class B, or C, Class D? Don't let dyslexia sneak in and, it's A, B, or C, and then they have C, B, or D as our airspace options. Some great answers from Gary, Glenn, Sterling, Danny, David, Dave, Ronald over on Facebook. Great answer, Michael. Great answer, Brian. Good answer, Jonathan. Hussein, great answer. Michael Patch, great answer here. Will on Facebook just said yes, it's about 60% airspace. Very, very, very heavy airspace questions. Probin, of course, wouldn't expect anything less from you. Jim, Manny, Lisa, all correct answers over there on Facebook. Let's reveal that correct answer now. Keep moving forward here. What kind of airspace is the Savannah Airport? The Savannah Airport is, the answer is A, Class C airspace. Don't let them fool you with the ABC and everything else there. Class C airspace, how do I know? Follow along with me on your screen. How do I know this is Class C airspace? My cursor is in the middle of your screen. Class C airspace, Savannah, I centered it right in the middle here for you. Solid magenta line. Class C airspace, solid magenta line. If you are studying for your recurrent test and you want to implement some 80-20 principles of your studies, obviously I hope you're going through our recurrent course, you'll see we're heavy on airspace, we're heavy on charts. If you want to exercise 80-20 principles with that, I would be investing 80% of your time on the sectional charts, looking at airspace. Remember, blue dashed line, class Delta, solid magenta line, class Charlie, solid blue line, class Bravo, airspace, and remembering those different types of airspace and symbols on the charts. That's going to be so important. Remember I said that, well, the FAA said initially that there wasn't going to be weather. Well, when they said there wasn't going to be weather, you dig into that a little more, it means, no, you're not being quizzed on METARs and TAFs and all these other little things on there on the recurrent test. You are on the initial test, but not on the recurrent test. But you're still quizzed on some basic weather principles, and here's two of those questions. Here's the first one. The weather report lists the ceiling at 800 feet. What is the highest you can operate your small unmanned aircraft system? The weather report lists the ceiling at 800 feet. Now, previously, this question would have said, this is the METAR, and you would have to read the METAR and then know and answer the question from there. Now they're just telling you, hey, the weather report lists the ceiling at 800 feet. What is the highest you can operate our small unmanned aircraft system here? You have to do a little bit of math. Stephen on YouTube, Donnie, Scott, Chris, Danny, username's Flying with Stan, username ABC Florida. Yes, great answers. Dave, Davis, yes, correct. Al, great work. Omar, great work. Heading over to Facebook now. Hey, Sid, you are correct. Alma, you are correct. Scott, great answer. Jonathan, great answer. Brian, Dave, Hussein, Alexander, good. Will said, Will just took his recurrent test, said, yes, I literally had this test, this question on my recurrent exam. So I just want to make sure you're realizing the importance of these questions that we're working through here together. Okay. Looking at the question one more time, then we'll reveal that answer. The weather report lists the ceiling at 800 feet. What is the highest you can operate our small unmanned aircraft system? What is the highest we can operate it here? Well, we come back and our answer is A, 300 feet AGL. Why is it 300 feet AGL? How far do I have to be from the clouds, right? How far do I have to be? I have to stay 500 feet below those actual clouds. So knowing where the weather report is, the highest I can fly is 300 feet. Basic subtraction, but you have to know the rules and regulations. So this isn't as much of a weather question as it is a rules and regulations question in a way. All right, let's look at another one. This one is strictly weather. Low-level turbulence can occur, and icing can become hazardous in which type of fog? The questions about weather are back. Yes, there's no METARs. I know there's no TAFs. That's great. But we still have to know weather. Low-level turbulence can occur, and icing can become hazardous in which type of fog? These questions they're getting harder and harder here. I have only 2 correct answers on YouTube so far. They're from Mark and Ryan. I've got 3 correct answers now on Facebook from Steve, Hussein, and Michael. Still waiting for some more correct answers. Steve on YouTube, ABC Florida on YouTube, Drone Reel Studios on YouTube, John on YouTube, looking over at Facebook again. Those are all correct. This is I am thrilled that there's a lot of incorrect answers, honestly, on this question. This is how we learn. I always say, wouldn't you rather get the questions wrong here with me tonight than when you just spend $150 on the test, right? That is what we're here for. Let's put the question up one more time. Let's really read it, and then we'll explain it. Low-level turbulence. This is important to us. Turbulence is still important to us. Can occur. And icing, now we're talking about, can become hazardous in which type of fog? Okay, this is where we look at what can we actually get rid of here? What can we truly throw away? Well, the one we can throw away in this case is upslope fog. I can get rid of upslope fog. Why? What is upslope fog? Upslope fog takes a hill and a little bit of wind that takes this, warm, moist air, let's say, and the wind blows that up the hill. It goes up, that warm, moist air heads up the hill, it cools as it heads up, the temperature and the dew point meet, and we get visible moisture, it's heavy, and it comes back down the mountain. There's no turbulence associated with it. There's no icing associated with it. We can get rid of upslope fog. This is a great tactic, too. Now I've got a 50-50 shot at this, right? And then we have 2 here. We have rain-inducing fog, and then we have steam fog. And it's very interesting because one can create the other. In fact, one does create the other. Their names are sometimes, unfortunately, used interchangeably here. But what is rain-inducing fog? Well, rain-inducing fog eventually becomes our answer, which is steam fog. Allow me to explain here. Think about steam fog. Think about steam as itself. What does steam do, right? Steam rises. We get an uplifting action. Now, what if we get steam from the lake and we get steam from the parking lot next to each other? And they dissipate that heat unevenly. So now we have our turbulence. Now, where does the icing come into play? Well, the icing can come into play because we have these tiny water droplets as we take this moisture, this thin moisture, up and aloft, and we cool it, and we create ice crystals. Now, sometimes rain can cause that steam fog, and that's where there can be some confusion because if you live in Florida, this is your reality, right? You're walking through the mall parking lot, it's been baking by the sun all day, it rains, and after the rain is done, what's coming up? Steam. That's one of the many ways we can get steam fog. This is all about looking for the best possible answer. This is a huge trick question because honestly, if you were on the street, you could use rain-induced fog and steam fog and use the terms almost interchangeably, because they're just that close. Don't tell it to a meteorologist or anything else like that. They'll give you the 10 different reasons why they're different. But in layman's terms, they're very, very close. However, steam fog is our best answer here. All right, let's now switch gears. Any questions, by the way, on any of this? I am here for you all regarding that, so please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Let's look at another question here together. Talk about hazardous attitudes now. What anecdotal phrase can help reverse the hazardous attitude of impulsivity? We have these things called hazardous attitudes. They're a very big focus in our recurrent test because you're quizzed on each of the hazardous attitudes in there. There's 5 of them. Impulsivity is one of those hazardous attitudes. What anecdotal phrase, what is something you could say to yourself to recover from impulsivity here? Ryan, I'm looking at YouTube first here. Glenn, Winslow, RJ, BC, Carey, Richard, Larry, David, N. Chris. Central Virginia Drones is the username. Correct. Mark with a C. Very correct. Hey, Nelson, nice to see you on here. Absolutely, C is correct. Richard, Lino, you're correct. Heading on over. Hey, Jim. Nice to see you on here on Facebook. Looking at Facebook here, correct answer from Karen, from Tom, from Dave, cameraman Steve, yes. AJ, JR, fantastic. I love reading Will's comments. Will is on Facebook, and he literally just took his recurrent test. So the previous comment was, hey, Jason, the big portion of my test, 60% of it was all about airspace. The other 40% is aeronautical decision making. What have we been talking about? Airspace and now aeronautical decision making, with a weather question or two thrown in there as well. Scott, Mike, good answers. Anthony, good answers as well. Look at YouTube one last time. BJ Darrell, username like to fly. I like to fly too. Correct answers over there. What is our correct answer? You guys all know it. The answer is C. Not so fast. Let's think first. What does it mean to be impulsive? The impulsive person. An issue comes up. We have a flyaway. We have a lost link. Whatever the issue is. And an impulsive person is, I don't care what you do, just do something and do it now. And the antidote to solve that is not so fast. Let's slow down, let's think this through. Let's think of the best possible solution. That doesn't mean this still doesn't come quickly, right? The impulsive person just says, just do something, right? Not to be confused, impulsivity often gets confused with resignation, another hazardous attitude, where resignation is where I resign myself from the situation. Why bother? There's nothing I can do to fix this. That thing is gone. There's nothing. That's the resignation attitude, right? And it can be fixed. And yes, we can figure this out. We can do that, is the antidote to kind of solve for that here. I believe I have one more question here for you, and this is an interesting one. I imagine this will be the hardest one of the night here. Slow down and really read it. What may be used to assist compliance with small unmanned aircraft systems see and avoid requirements? Slow down and really read what that means. What may be used to assist compliance with small unmanned aircraft systems see and avoid requirements? Binoculars, first-person view camera, or remote pilot diligence. I got a lot of smart people here. On YouTube, Patrick, Scott, Whetstone Video, David, Nelson, again, great work. Sean, great work. Ross on YouTube, great work. You guys are smart. This one gets confused so much. And I'm so glad we've got so many correct answers here. Fantastic. Heading over now to Facebook. Sid, good work. Hussein, good work. Hey, Jim Thorpe, nice to see you. Great work. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic, fantastic. This one is truly, it's a trick question. I'm going to read it again to you one time here. What may be used to assist in compliance with see and avoid, that's your buzzword, see and avoid requirements? The answer is remote pilot diligence. You being diligent, that's all it really is, because it's see and avoid. It's see and avoid other aircraft. It's see and avoid obstacles, trees, guy wires, towers, these types of things. See and avoid. If the question, and there is a question worded almost exactly the same way, it's worded, what may be used to assist compliance with small unmanned aircraft systems, right? Visual line of sight. Assist in maintaining that visual line of sight. Well, then on that question, the answer is binoculars. Yes, you can temporarily use binoculars to establish, but you can't permanently and only use binoculars in that case. Remote pilot diligence is our correct answer. That's a tough one, and I'm glad we took some time to really go over that and go over this. And I hope there's so many smart people on here, but yet again, there's so many Remote Pilot 101 customers on YouTube and on Facebook right now. That's why we're getting so many correct answers. If that's not you, though, or if you have a friend who's trying to self-study, whatever it is, please make sure they understand this, is you can't just go read the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, nor just do the course on FAAsafety.gov. It just doesn't cover everything. This is a very difficult test to understand. It's very difficult to work through this in a study on your, not on your own, but just by watching YouTube videos and everything else. We have some great content out there on YouTube, but you need that structure to really take you through there. So if you are not already a Remote Pilot 101 customer, I highly encourage you to check that out for our online video-based Part 107 knowledge test prep. This knowledge test, this recurrent test, this initial test is not going to be easy. Let us be your guide. Let us be your blueprint on the process to the initial, or on the process, or towards the process of recurrency with that. Remote Pilot 101 is now up to 90 full 4K training videos. See some of the actual FAA questions, complete initial and recurrent course, and the course is yours for life. You saw how many lifetime members we have on here. We're just so blessed with that. Let us be your guide through that. Remote Pilot 101 is $149 and it is yours for life. You can buy just the recurrent course if you wish to do that as well. That's on there, but the $149 for life gets you access to both courses. We literally just finished filming the recurrent course 3 weeks ago. It is the freshest content out there, and I'm going back now and redoing the initial course as well, just to continue to be the most up-to-date, the most well-produced course on the market. That is our goal. One last thing, then I'll take some questions from the audience as well. We are giving away a new Mavic 2 Pro. If you're not already signed up, you can do so. No strings attached. I'm not going to spam you or anything. remotepilot101.com/Mavic. Now, last time I mentioned a URL live on YouTube and Facebook. We crashed the website. I expect the same level of success this evening. So if it is acting funny, just give it a second, refresh a little bit, or come back in 5-10 minutes, and we'll get that back up and fixed. We've tried to prepare for it, but it seems to happen each and every time. remotepilot101.com/Mavic to get signed up. I'm announcing those winners on Monday, August 1st. And I'm doing that live just like this. We'll give away some other great stuff, Remote Pilot t-shirts, some great just gear, some lifetime subscriptions, and some other great stuff as well. So remotepilot101.com/Mavic. No spam or anything like that. We're just here to deliver great value. And again, $149, the course is yours for life. Let's take a few questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up and let you get back to enjoying your evening here. Thank you for all the great kudos as well. Tony, Sean, awesome. Thank you, thank you. Lots of people loving on the course. Very, very thankful. Very, very blessed to have all of that here. Let's look here. All right, any questions here? Did I say August? I did mean October. If I said August, I apologize. Everyone's commenting on that on Facebook. I apologize. Yes, it is October. Let's see. We can make that happen. More recurrent questions. Absolutely, we can do that. Great question. Someone asked on YouTube, how do I find out when my license, first of not a license, it is a certificate. You are a certificated remote pilot. There's no such thing really no such thing as a pilot license. Even in manned aviation, it is a pilot certificate. You have a remote pilot certificate. When does it expire? It expires, well, let me not get into the weeds too much. The certificate itself is never going to expire. Once a pilot, always a pilot. However, your privileges and your ability to exercise those privileges on that certificate do expire. That card is always going to be good, right? There's not like an expiration date physically on the card. Your privileges expire 24 calendar months after the date of issuance. What does a calendar month mean? A calendar month means if you took the test August 15th, 2 years, 24 months later, you have till the end of the calendar month. You have until, 31 days in August? You have to the end of August to get that test, to take that recurrent test. So it would behoove you, recurrent test takers and initial test takers, to take your test as close to the first of the month as possible. Now, some people say, well, I took my initial on the 28th, so I kind of like lost a month in a weird way. Do I have to take my recurrent on the 28th? No. You could wait until the 1st to take that recurrent test. Now, you're going to be expired, lapsed, unable to exercise the privileges on your card on the 29th and the 30th and the 1st until you actually take that recurrent test. So just keep that in mind. It would benefit you greatly to take that as close to the 1st of the month as possible here. So think of that when you're scheduling tests, please. All right. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate all of that. Right. What was the issue date? Is July. Looking at some of these. Aaron, no, the FAA is not going to reissue a certificate for recurrency. Again, remember your card you got in the mail, the hard copy card, the green and blue one. It's not going anywhere. That's your card. Your recurrent test, this is how it's structured right now. When you pass, you get that certificate with your score on it. They emboss it, right, with their cool little seal on it. You need to take a picture of that on your phone, make a photocopy of it to save it. But that original needs to be folded up, and you need to add it to your drone logbook. You need to keep it in your wallet or whatever. Keep it in your drone flight bag, because now you need that certificate and the recurrent test that says I passed together to continue to exercise your privileges. You're not going to get a new card in the mail here. So think of that. Let's take one more question, and then we will wrap this up and let you get back to enjoying your evening here. Michael said job board. Great. Yeah, Michael, we try to post jobs and such when we see drone jobs like that come up. There's a lot of great companies doing that as well. Jonathan said, can someone ever stop by and visit the studio? Absolutely. We're located in Ocala, Florida. And as long as you schedule it, just hit the support function on the website. Say, hey, I'm looking to come up and schedule a studio tour. We have people come in on a regular basis to come check out the studio, the facilities, and meet myself and the team. It has to be scheduled, though, to make sure everybody is here as well. So you can certainly do all of that. All right. AJ, no, like I said, there's no issue with that time lapse, and it's a 70% to pass. Brian, I just did that video on the extension. That is the latest video. I need to update one of the videos in the course, actually, to reflect that as well here. Jason said, what happens if you lose your card? You can get a reissue. I believe it's $2 to get a card reissued. Yes, Ronald on YouTube, the test is $150 again, unfortunately, so just something else to add to your budget. Listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being such a blessing to myself and the RemotePilot101.com team. If there is anything we can do at all to help make you that safer, smarter remote pilot, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to serve you. Be sure to sign up for the Mavic giveaway as well. So with another live stream, we're going to start doing monthly, kind of regular live streams as well for you all to check out, and more great YouTube videos to check out. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Please like and follow us on Facebook so you get all of these great alerts. Myself and the team are here to answer any of your questions. If they didn't get answered tonight, just hit the support function on RemotePilot101.com, and we are here to serve you. So listen, enjoy the rest of your night. Best of luck on your recurrent exam, and I'll see you all on the 1st when we announce the winner of our Mavic. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you.